Okay, alright, hello. Okay, so on the main channel a few years back, we started a little series where we just play Hoi 4 and try to do dumb, overpowered strategies, or just dumb ways to play the game in general. Some of these are really good, some of them are really bad, and I just wanted to check, in the current state of the game, which ones still work. Okay, first up, one of the classic ones I did on the channel is playing as the Soviet Union and invading the US immediately. So let's see if A, it still works, 2, maybe we can improve it, and 3, hit the like button. Okay, so first issue I could see, obviously, the Soviets don't start with a lot of convoys. Second off, of course, to get to the US, we need naval supremacy, which shouldn't be too difficult. We can dupe the game a little bit into allowing us to actually get the range over here. Okay, so if we go up here to this little non-existent island, by the way, that is not an island that exists, and we get our little navy over there, and we just split them up enough that we cover these sea zones right here, which is enough to actually get a naval invasion off on Seattle. Of course, you need more convoys. And I'm assuming the first thing you're going to say is, well, as soon as you declare on the US, they're going to have supremacy. So we need to get around that. And the way usually you'd get around that is by justifying on someone they guarantee. So we obviously have the Monroe Doctrine, so I'll just justify on Panama, and we'll see if this still works. We can also get the work on a collab government, just in case we somehow do manage to get the landing. Okay, let's see if this will actually work. See, the problem is they've kind of changed the way the Monroe Doctrine works. Before it was just a flat guarantee, but now it's a whole event chain, which I don't know if we can get around the little glitch now. Oh, no. It does still work. Now, you really got to hope your naval invasion does work, though, because you're not getting another one off. We're very barely going to get this, but now the question is, can we get enough guys over that we can actually get a push going? The thing you really want to do as well is make sure you get desperate measures, because you are at war with a major, which means you can get that immediately. Also, make sure you garrison your ports and just build a whole bunch of ports along this just for the extra supply. And as you can see, I can have my whole army here now, no problem. And the US army is absolutely terrible. I mean, mine is terrible too, but I just have a lot of it. So I think it's safe to say that answers the question. A quick naval invasion of Panama, and we are done. Yep, it's safe to say this strat still works. And what's even more amazing about it is because we did the collab government too, we now get all that compliance as well. I got 2 off on them, but if you get lucky, maybe get 2 45s, that could be insane. So obviously the only issues we really faced was the fact we had no dockyards to begin with, but I just spam built a whole bunch over in Ukraine to get the convoys out. And another tip is make sure you block off the supply zones of the seas, just from Moscow, the Black Sea, and up here. That way all your supply has to go along the railway network over here, and then you lose a lot less convoys in supply and stuff, and that helped a lot. And then of course we just had to get the US in without directly justifying on them, and we did that as well. It all still works. It's insane. And with the extra supply we got from building ports, we could obviously just bring our army over entirely, and it was really no problem. The only thing that obviously is the risk here is not getting the naval invasion and having no supply behind you. So as long as you're on top of it, you get those ports down immediately, you should be fine. Anyway, on to the next one. Okay, next one we actually was one of the recent ones that someone suggested to me in the comments, which is the Japan-Albania strat. It's really quite simple. It should only take us a second, and I'm pretty sure it still works because we tried it not too long ago. Really quite simple. We just get naval rights from Italy, and then we tear apart the navy, sending boats pretty much everywhere just to make sure that we have naval supremacy all across these tiles. And then we set up the longest invasion in the world. Unsurprisingly, what we do in the Albania strat is in fact not invade Albania, we invade Italy, but we get to Italy by justifying on Albania, which is guaranteed by Italy. Yeah, it's not really what you'd call a cohesive plan, but for whatever reason, it does work. Only 6 of my divisions actually made it in the naval invasion there. I'm not too sure why. A little bit awkward. I now just kind of have to wait for the rest of my army to turn up. There you go. Goodbye, Italy. You have Japanese Italy in 1937. Yeah, I wasn't too worried about this one working or not. It was a little glitchy with the naval invasion, though. I think the guarantee strat might not work as well as it used to. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I just got super lucky with that invasion of the US, because when I do it with these guys now, hold on, let me just triple check this, wait for the month to tick over, declare on them. Okay. Yeah, that's odd. Okay, we'll declare as the month ticks over, and we'll see if that makes any difference. I'm not too sure. They might have fixed this in. I'm not even sure how I got those 6 naval invasions off, and how I even got the US one off, but there is a way we can still make this work. Instead of naval invading Italy, we'll just naval invade Albania, and that should have our naval invasion go off straight away, and then as soon as we've got the landing there, we move the navy there, plan another naval invasion into Italy. Yeah. Kind of odd, but hey, I guess they fixed that one. Okay, just to go back to the US one though, let's see if this actually is patched or we just got super lucky that first time. This one works perfectly. There they go, off again. I guess it's just something to do with the fact we don't have like the naval supremacy technically over in the Japan one, because we don't have range, and as soon as we actually go in on the Italians, all our boats run away. Okay, holy crap, I just figured out in my smart little brain how we did that. When I was messing around the first time around, I just asked Italy for military access just for the hell of it. That actually starts the naval invasion. Okay, so then if we declare on Albania, boom, there you go. The 4 go back for whatever reason, but then the rest of the naval invasion carries on. Okay, that is so dumb, but actually kind of game breaking. This could probably be used elsewhere. Yeah, I guess if you just get mill access between a country that'll give it you and then get the naval supremacy, then preempt the naval invasion before you declare, it's kind of broken. But yeah, that is so incredibly dumb. Mystery solved. I guess the Albania strat still works in multiple ways, and this brand new one that should be looked into further. Next up, we're playing Austria. I know what you're saying. Austria doesn't have a lot of content because they immediately get decked on by the Germans. Oh, it's time to blow your mind, little Timothy. We're going to get our demagogue immediately. We're then going to go ahead, switch our ideologies immediately because we already start with 50% support. Join the German faction just for the hell of it. Then we'll go ahead, justify on Yugoslavia. But you see, we don't actually care about Yugoslavia. What we'll do is we will go ahead, declare on Yugoslavia, bring in quite a few enemies, not really care about the front line at all, and then just paradrop into France. And there goes free France. We'll save ourselves actually holding on to the land, just puppet them, and I guess if we really want to get some extra juice here, we'll take their resources and factory. Before we capitulate, we can go ahead and call the Germans in to save our bacon, as we have no one actually holding us out there. But before we do that, we also just want to take the French army, or what's left of it, and get them to the front line. Oh no, these guys all joined the UK, did they? What on earth will I do? So, whether you believe it or not, it's surprisingly simple. Kind of gotta hope the Germans don't let you get capitulated. And there she blows, fellas. Ain't it almost beautiful? Now, we could almost form Austria-Hungary if we had Hungary and Croatia. We could just invade Hungary, no problem. But the problem is Croatia. You could probably get around this by doing the Yugoslavs a bit better, because the only way they even spawn is because we were at war and they joined the German faction, so they do their little revolt. But it doesn't matter, because look how much land we got anyway. We got France, the UK, and India, along with Australia. At least almost all of Australia. I was saying specifically just an Austria strat. It's anyone that can quickly change their ideology enough to get enough transports and paratroopers over into Germany. Because if you can capitulate France before they join the Allies, it's so much easier because you can just steal their army and even their navy if you need it, which is a very nice buff for literally any nation. Heck, Austria is probably one of the weakest starting nations. Not the weakest, but definitely, you know, don't have a lot of factories to work with. I managed to get 50 transport planes out, converted all my units over to paratroopers, and we did it. So this strat 100% still works, at least until they actually fix the AI so they protect their air zones. Well, you know, that or they actually change paradropping so that you actually do have to have supremacy to paradrop, not that you just don't have the enemy having any air superiority, which, you know, That would make more sense, wouldn't it, Paradox? Okay, we got one more, and it really ain't as overpowered as the rest of them, I'll be real. But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta do it. Let's go beat up Japan. The US, you pretty much have everything that you need to destroy Japan at the beginning of the game. Big old navy, all we want to do with this is split off our submarines for later, and then obviously get ourselves strike forcing so that when we actually have to invade Japan immediately, we could do that. Then just split up all the submarines, get them to harass all the shipping around Japan. And then for the heck of it, we're going to rush down limited intervention. There you go. Japan has now invaded China. We're going to hit the protest against the Japanese invasion. Now, how quickly you defeat Japan really depends on how competent the AI is today. Hey, finally, we got the Panay incident, to which usually you can just be like, no, we don't want to deal with Japan yet. Or, if you're feeling crazy enough, you can go ahead and take them down. Usually, you used to get this one a lot earlier, but Japan's AI has been historically bad recently. Like I said, you want to take out Japan immediately, there's really nothing stopping you. If you go ahead, train your navy, and go down your doctrine for your special forces, and you actually get a few more naval capacity as well. So you can start off naval invading with an extra 10 units, which is quite a lot. And my units aren't even anything special. I did spend the entire game from the very start building military factories, which you usually wouldn't do as the US, and this is all we have. And then for the actual landing, I just got a few Marines that I put together, and that'll do. Doing this, you should be ready to go by like 1937, late 1937, maybe midway through 38, but it really just depends on how quickly you could do it by how the AI is feeling today. Yeah, also this ain't gonna somehow give you more war participation. You will forever be cursed with no war participation when dealing with Japan. Oh shucks, oh well, at least you won't have to deal with them. And by whatever time you manage to do it, you can just go back and look at Europe. Like I said, it ain't the most overpowered strat, but it is hilariously easy how quickly you can destroy Japan. Just mostly with the submarines as well, because that will just cut all their supply off to Asia. But yeah, that was all our overpowered strats that I wanted to show off today. They are still working for the most part. Some of them are a little bit different, and we also learn a couple new tricks potentially. But realistically, even if Paradox did patch them, there'd be a new overpowered strat literally the next day, because something will always be broken in this damn game. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the slop. Subscribe. Goodbye.